it can be helpful when we have these labels of like masc and femme and whatever, but it's like everyone in this world is so unique.
Yeah.
And you can't expect them all to be one certain way or fit into one certain box. And I just want everyone to show up exactly as they are.
Hi, Kelly. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming on. She Comes with Baggage.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So we were just talking about this, that when we met, it was probably, years ago now, right?
It was,
but through social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was like maybe 3 years ago. That's
3 years.
Crazy. Time flies.
That's insane. Honestly, I feel like time doesn't make sense to me anymore.
It doesn't. It's just flying, and I just try not to think about it. It's stressful.
We just keep flying. It's fine.
Literally.
Eventually, we'll get somewhere where we need to be. But how long have you been in Los Angeles for?
I've been here, I think it's been like a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And where are you from originally then?
Originally, actually from Florida.
Okay.
I grew up in Florida, and then I moved to Houston, Texas, going into like 8th grade.
Okay.
And I was there for like 15, 16 years, I
Got
guess. Yeah. And that's where all my family is. So.
Okay. So, and you had mentioned that your family's going to come visit you soon.
Yes, they're coming to town next week. I'm so excited.
Oh,
my
good.
niece and nephew are coming.
Okay.
They're my children. All I've ever wanted in life is to be like the cool gay aunt. So
you're there.
You know, my sister really made that happen for me, and I'm so excited.
Dreams come true.
They really do, you guys.
So you're close. You have 2 siblings, you said, or
I do have a sister and a brother.
okay, and you're pretty close with your family.
I'm super close. Yeah,
that's
my
so
family's
good.
like my favorite people in the world. My mom is my best friend. My sister's my best friend.
Okay.
So it's my sister and my mom coming in town with the kids. So,
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be
Wait,
so fun.
that's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait to follow along and see all the things that you do
oh my
as
gosh,
well.
I literally made a whole itinerary.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I think they're here
that.
for 7 days, so I was like, we have to have something
Like,
planned because that's a
pack it.
long time.
When people come to visit me and they're like, "Hey, I'm coming to Los Angeles. What should I do?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
know.
I don't
Luckily,
know
their
anything
first
here.
visit, we got the touristy stuff out of the way. So
Okay.
I'm like, and anytime everyone's like, let's go to Hollywood Boulevard, I'm like, we'll drive by. But
Yeah.
I'm not kidding out.
Are you gonna do the big red bus?
I'm like, no, I'm not.
Like I'm not doing
My sister
it.
wants to do one so bad. I'm like, it's not even, they don't even take you anywhere like to see anything actually real.
Yeah, no, they like drive you by a mansion and they're
Yeah.
like some random. I'm like,
They're like,
prove
this is
it.
this person's house. I'm like, okay, you could be lying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, the Kardashians do not live here. I watch every episode. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like, we know. They're not here. You're lying.
Well, that's exciting that they're going to come visit. So were you always close with your family growing up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like an early memory of maybe starting to recognize your queerness as a kid, or is that something that like evolved over time?
I feel like it was kind of always there.
Okay.
But I didn't realize it until like later on. But
Okay.
then once I looked back, I was like, oh yeah, like how did I miss that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like everyone always says this, but it's like literally just movies, like always being obsessed with like the main like woman or the character that was like a female. And I was just like, could care less about the like male character
just, like-
in any movie.
Yeah.
Or like anybody asked me what my celebrity crush was, and I had to like rack my brain to try and think of a man.
Yeah.
Like a man? I don't know.
Yeah. You're like, I know. Who's that? What is
I
that?
really don't know. I'm watching Stick It and obsessing over the ice bath scene. Sorry.
Like dead ass. That was me as well. But
Yes.
but for me, it was like I wasn't attracted to her, but I was like, I want to be you. Do you know what I mean?
yes,
Like, but
yeah.
I know that every queer woman has like a different experience with that movie.
specifically. It's so true. Oh my god.
What was your coming out journey like? Did you talk to your family first, or was it more of like kind of keeping that to yourself for a while?
I think I kept it to myself for a while.
Okay.
It wasn't until I graduated high school and left for college that I had that first like, oh shit moment where I was like, okay, something's not adding up here. I tried to date guys all through high school.
Okay.
My sister was like boy crazy, so she always had a boyfriend.
Yep.
And we're close in age, so she always wanted me to just like have a boyfriend with her and like go do like double dates and stuff like that. And I tried so hard.
Yeah.
I remember I had a boyfriend for 2 days. That was my longest relationship with a guy.
48 hours.
Yeah, 48 hours.
It sounds longer if you say 48.
Yeah,
you know?
you're right. Okay, 48 hours. And those 48
trying to help
hours
you out.
were stressful. And literally, I think like at the end of the 48 hours, I like cried to my mom on the couch, and I was like, Mom, like, he's so nice. Like, something's wrong with me. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but something's wrong with me. And she was just like, maybe you just don't want a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And now looking back, obviously, we were both like, hey, remember that time you cried on the couch about your boyfriend of 48 hours? I was like, yeah, we both probably should have put it together then.
Right.
It takes time. It's a journey.
It takes time.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think like around college was when I kind of started the process of like coming out to myself.
Okay.
And I feel like I wanted to do that first before I told anybody else.
Yep.
I just knew that like, as a people pleaser and as someone who cared a lot about what other people thought. I wanted to be like super confident in my sexuality before I started the process of coming out to people. So I kind of just took the time to do that.
I'm curious too, if being from Florida and then living in Houston, so Florida and Texas are notorious for having some of the more closed-minded mindsets whenever it comes to LGBTQ plus identities. Was that something you ever dealt with, just like environmentally, where you kind of had to suppress that? Or
I think definitely. And it wasn't anything like specifically within my family, but we grew up going to church, so that was like a big factor that I obviously had to work through, because the churches we did go to obviously talked about homosexuality being a sin and all of that. And while like my parents never said that or never like really talked about any of that, like it was just something I saw every Sunday that was like kind of ingrained in me. So that was a factor that I had to get over and had to like really work through.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Florida and Texas, I mean, they're like both so red and closed-minded, and I'm sure I heard things from people around me, and so there was a lot of like internalized homophobia that I had to like work through, for sure.
I mean, me being from Tennessee, I think for me it's like 100%. My parents never had anything. I never heard anything homophobic from my parents.
Right.
I never heard anything about being anti-LGBTQ plus. But I heard it from everyone else.
Yeah.
And my parents didn't correct that.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So to me, that was almost them agreeing.
Exactly.
And so it's not like that they had to come out and say it, but it's because they said nothing at all, where I was like,
well, they must agree.
They must agree.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that was my same situation with, like, I heard it from the church. I heard it from other family members. I heard it, from friends' parents that, like making gay jokes, or like, when we were kids too, everybody was like, that's so gay, like things like that.
Yeah.
And they made it in like a derogatory thing. So I was like, well, okay, well, if gay means bad and church is telling me gay is bad, then that must mean it is what it is.
Must be wrong.
When I was coming out, I was like, oh my God.
No, it's so scary.
What does this mean?
So scary.
Yeah, I was like, I will do anything to be straight. Now I'm like, why?
Oh, that was me too. Now I'm like, thank God. Thank God I'm not straight.
That's what I was saying.
Obviously, things have gotten so much better, and I'm so thankful for that. And like representation in general has gotten a lot better. But like back then, like too, I just like didn't really have any like femme representation as far as like lesbians. So that was just like another big layer of it too. It was just like, well, there's absolutely no way that I could be gay. And like, I wear dresses. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, because I mean, you're saying in college. So I mean, this probably would have been back in the era where you only had representation of queer women as looking and being a certain type of queer woman. Like for me, when I would start getting curious and I would look up like a lesbian, what a lesbian means, they had a very specific look to them. They were hyper masculine, very much aligned with sports, which I did find relatability to. But absolutely. It was the hyper masculinity that I was like, but that's not me either. So maybe I can't be that. And it's just so confusing, right? But I think now what you said with the representation, we are seeing that our community can be so diverse and so nuanced in every way. So I feel like that's really helpful. I mean, I'm curious too, did you ever deal with compulsory heterosexuality, which is like, comfet? Because I know that's something that people kind of internalize without even realizing.
Yeah. No, I mean, definitely. Yeah. I think just like my whole childhood and like into my high school years when I was like trying so hard to have a boyfriend, and because I was like, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. Like, that's obviously, my mind wouldn't even let me think of anything else, because I'm like, no, I have to have a boyfriend, and I have to get married, and I have to have babies, and that's what society like tells me to do. So yeah, that's also like what makes it so shocking when you do realize like that you're gay or that you're queer, and you're like, oh, everything that society has told me I'm supposed to be, like, I'm actually not. So what do I do now?
It almost becomes like a fascination in your mind, where you're like, I want to have a boyfriend to kind of fix why I don't want a boyfriend. Does that make sense? Like,
well, I knew it was what I was supposed to do, and I've always been, like I said, like a people pleaser, like rule follower. So I'm like, I did become obsessed with it, and I like tried so hard to have a boyfriend, because I was like, this is literally how it has to be.
Right. I mean, it was for me going to middle school, I was playing sports, and they would always say things like, you have to act like this for the boys. You have to do this for the boys. Which, by the way, when you're 14, why is everyone trying to force having boyfriends? But then the same people are also talking about how the LGBTQ plus community eroticizes and sexualizes children.
It
I'm
makes
like,
me so mad, the hypocrisy of it all.
It's actually, the amount of times people are like, you have to wear makeup for the boys. And I'm like,
what?
I'm 12 years old.
Or it's like a little baby and they're like future heartbreaker. Like future, like, I'm like, what? Why are we talking about a baby, like dating in general?
It's insane
like,
to me. The hypocrisy drives me crazy. But I think for sure what you said, you know, I followed the line of like having multiple boyfriends through high school and stuff. And I just always thought that they were like my buddies. And I was like, oh, like, you know, maybe this is what love is, what it is supposed to feel like. And I think there was love there, but I was never in love. And, you know, it's like I love them as a person, but it was like more of like a best friend kind of thing.
No, absolutely.
And then, so with your guy friends or anyone that you would even potentially try to pursue, is it the same feeling where you're just like, just not connected?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I never had like an actual relationship besides my 48-hour one, of course, which is essential.
I love this for you, by the way.
Thank you.
I think it's amazing. I unfortunately had a year-long one, and I wish it was 48 hours. So it's okay.
I will say that is the one thing that like maybe I did kind of like fight the compet of it all, like by not actually following through and having a boyfriend for a long time. Yeah, I think like I just knew like something just like wasn't right.
Yeah.
And it would make me so anxious to even get to the point of like where we were talking or whatever with a boy. So I just would find excuses.
Right. And so in college, when you started to kind of open those doors for yourself, did you find it terrifying or more of like liberating?
It was like both.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a mix of both. I think in high school, I sort of had a few experiences with like, you know, your typical, like, your best friend, you know, you kiss and you're like, oh, what's this?
Yes.
Yeah. And then I think I just always would shut it down and be like, oh, I was just drunk, or like, it was just, you know, best friends. That's what best friends do. And then, I think in college, it was more like, I think it finally like a switch flicked, and I was like, okay, this is definitely who I am.
I was actually going to mention too, it's funny that you said that because even from my experience, it was the same.
Yeah.
It's like where I'm from in the South, queerness was so wrong, right? But a lot of the girls would drink and they would kiss for the boys, quote unquote, for the boys.
Of course.
And so for me, not knowing I was queer, but I would always be like, let's get drunk and kiss.
Yeah,
let's just get drunk and kiss for the boys. There's a boy here. There's a boy here.
Of course.
And eventually there was like no boys there. And they're like, there's no boys though. And I was like, but why don't we just kiss for the fun of it?
You guys, why don't you get about that?
I didn't realize it. And obviously when I went to college, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was definitely trying to kiss.
It's so funny that it doesn't click in those moments.
No, it doesn't.
Like, you'd think you'd kiss a girl and you'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it's like you find yourself like convincing yourself that it's just like for another reason or whatever. Yeah, it is so interesting.
You know, and I'm just like, it's for the boys. Well, I think it's because you're taught from such an early age, do it for the boys, do it for the boys, right? So even if you're like kissing and you're like, oh, this is kind of exciting, it must be for the boys, which I'm thinking about that now, and I'm like, it makes me want to toss the table. Do you know what I mean?
Awful. It's so horrible. Yeah, that's something that we have to believe.
Oh, absolutely. Well, being femme presenting, is that something that, on the contrary, you feel like you have to maybe prove or explain yourself a lot, even in queer spaces?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that was probably the most shocking, like in queer spaces, people kind of like denying your sexuality because you are more feminine. And I think hopefully we're moving past that. I will say it's like, I've noticed it more in like the older generation of queer people. But yeah, I mean, that added layer of like having to prove that I'm gay because I already had to do that for myself.
Yeah.
So then coming out after doing all of this work to prove to myself that I'm gay and that I can be feminine and gay and become confident in my sexuality, to then come out and people just be like, no. Yeah. Like, you don't look gay, so you're absolutely not gay. Like, it was just like, oh, well, like, who or what?
Like, you're like, do I need to go back to...
Yeah. And it's like, luckily I did. I think that's why I wanted to take the time and be confident in my sexuality, because I knew people would discredit it because I was more on the feminine side. So luckily I did do that work to like feel really confident in myself, so that when people did like naturally say like, oh, I would have never guessed, or like, oh, you just don't look gay or whatever, like, of course it would piss me off and it would be so annoying and frustrating, but like I was confident enough to just be like, well, no, here I am, and this is what a gay person can look like, and there's not like, we don't all fall into some stereotype of No,
it's actually amazing that you took the time to find the confidence, because I think for me, I took the time to be like, how do I do anything but this? You know what I mean? And now I'm like, why would I should have just leaned in, embraced it, because as soon as I did, I was like, life got way more colorful.
Of course, yes, but you have to do it when you're ready.
Of course.
Yeah, you can't rush it.
Absolutely, you can't rush it. And also, you know, sometimes your environment will refuse to let you, and you have to like kind of really unpack that in certain ways. You know?
I think that's why we hear a lot of people say like, when I got to college or whatever, whatever, because you're in this new space with like new people and people who think differently than like where you grew up and like the people you were with your whole life. Right. So I think it's like a place where you are like a little more open to explore.
I completely agree. Yeah. Whenever people in the queer community might, or even heteronormative communities or spaces, if they say things to you that are a little bit more of like a microaggression, how do you handle that?
I feel like at first I would probably just like laugh it off because I would just be really uncomfortable, or like it would make me mad, and I'm not really someone who's like confrontational. But I think now that I've gotten so comfortable in it and like it's so clear that that's not the way anymore, and like I think I'll just be like, I'll just call it out. Yeah, I'll just be like, what do you mean by that? Or like, why would you think that? Or like, how long have you been in this community? Like, as this, like, have you not seen other people who look like me? Right. Like, what is the point in still saying things like that?
Absolutely. Yeah. But I feel like this is something with queer women where it's just this hyper eroticization of queer women. And I think that that is one of my biggest triggers, because it's just like, my queerness is not for the male gaze.
No, that's literally the whole point.
It drives me crazy when, especially even if like other, people say, well, who's the man in the relationship? I'm like, there's not one, and that's the whole point.
Again, that's the whole point.
Whenever do you ever deal with eroticization, and how do you navigate that as well?
I mean, yeah, I know I definitely have, and like especially being on social media and like the comments that you'll get, and I think I'm at a point now where that'll just kind of ignore, especially on social media. That's good. I just like block, delete.
That's good.
I just like don't have the energy to let it affect me or to let anybody else see it. I'd rather just delete it and like not argue with some man on the internet.
Right.
But if it's in person, I guess it just depends on my mood.
Yeah.
Am I down to like tussle with somebody to fight over this, or am I just going to ignore you and know that like you're probably not somebody who I'm going to be able to change your mind?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, also I feel like a lot of times they say things like that to purposely get a rise out of you.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you just said. A lot of times they're doing it fully aware that they're doing it to be harmful.
Yeah.
And so you're not necessarily going to change their mind by having like a really kind, open-minded conversation.
I think that's the difference. If somebody says something and I think maybe like they didn't mean it that way, or like they said something wrong, and like I feel like I could have a conversation and they would be willing to like listen and understand and correct themselves, then absolutely I'm going to take that advantage to like educate anybody. But if it's someone who you clearly know when they're doing it to just be like harmful, and I mean, I'll call it out, but I know I'm not going to change their mind.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's so good. And if someone was listening in, maybe they are feminine and in the femme presenting side of things, and maybe if they are femme presenting and they were kind of confused about their next steps in their sexuality, but they are starting to feel, their mind open up to that. Yeah. What would be something that you would advise to them?
Work on being so confident in yourself and loving yourself for exactly who you are, to the point where like anybody making other comments, of course it's always going to affect you in some way, but like if you're confident in who you are and you love yourself enough, like the comments will just roll off your back. Like it really won't affect you. And follow people who make you feel good, and follow people who are representation to you, who make you feel seen and valid. And there is nobody out there who's like alone in the way that they're feeling. Yeah. Like there's always somebody out there who has been through similar experiences or can make you feel seen and valid. So just surround yourself with those people.
I love that. Well, you also just brought up the point that I would love to talk to you about is your content.
Yeah.
And I think exactly what you just said is you're creating content that is representative of your entire community, and where people can come and learn about, being femme and leaning into that and being queer. And then also you're debunking a lot of these like stupid things that people say, right? Like, for example, you can't be gay. You don't look like that, right?
Yeah.
And where did, your love for content come from? And I would love to learn about this journey, how that started.
I have always been someone who's been like obsessed with social media.
Okay.
Like MySpace days, I was coding, like
not coding.
Literally, like we were all coding. What the heck?
Binary. Yeah. Did you have Tumblr as well?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. My Tumblr was crazy. Yeah. I feel like my mom found my Tumblr once and grounded me. I feel like it was just such a time like of us all being so like, oh my God, what's the word? Not moody.
Yeah, we were all like, it's not even emo. It's like, what is it?
Kind of emo.
It is, right? Well, we're all like going through it.
Yeah, but we're like 12. And I'm like reposting stuff on Tumblr that's like so unhinged.
So I feel like my reposting game was so strong back then. Like, I love that Instagram and TikTok are just now rolling out reposts. And I'm like, we've been tumbling
like,
it.
Tumblr days.
Yeah, like my Tumblr was dark. It was like.
That's why I got grounded. It was not good. Listen, I was going through it. I was trying to figure figure out my sexuality.
That's so funny.
I've just always loved social media. I literally remember when Instagram came out, and I was like obsessed, and I like loved creating like a curated aesthetic feed, like even in the beginning when you're just using those like ugly Instagram filters. But I just loved it. There was just something about it, like the creative side about it. Like I've always felt like a creative in some way. And it's just like always been an outlet for me. So I've always loved social media. And then during COVID was actually when I first started, like posting. I downloaded TikTok, was just like posting the dumbest stuff because I was like, nobody's going to see this. And then I posted one thing that was like, the gay leaving my body when someone tells me I'm too pretty to be gay or whatever. And it like did really well. Like people saw it and people were liking it. And that was like my first experience of like people seeing my content. And I was like, okay, like I'm just going to keep posting about this. Clearly people feel seen, like seeing this. So then from there, I just was like posting so much just about like being femme and being gay and like my journey with it and like how coming out was and just like my whole experience. And I grew on TikTok from there. And then that kind of bled into Instagram. And I've just been doing it ever since that.
I love that. And I love that it also comes from a place of like genuine storytelling. Because you're just genuinely sharing your story. And how that is now resonating with hundreds of thousands of people around the world, which I think is so important, especially because like we are seeing more representation across the board for our community. But I think for I don't know. I think for women, it's just still hard because it almost feels like they play into a stereotype a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so maybe there is one femme presenting character, but like they're even in a stereotype themselves. So I feel like you're able to speak to your community in such a genuine way, which I think is really important.
I think that's my goal. I think ever since like I started growing, I was like, oh, cool. Like I can be the representation that I wish I would have had when I was coming out. And like, maybe would have taken away that whole layer of processing being gay and looking feminine. And because that was like one of the hardest aspects of coming out. So it's like, if I can be that representation that I wish I had, let's go. I'm excited.
I love that. I was curious, actually. I wanted to ask you, now that you had mentioned it, did you actually open up to your family about it? Or how were they fine completely? Or did it take some time?
They were pretty fine with it right away. I came home from college early. I ended up like not finishing out college because I just was like processing coming out and being gay and like just needed some time to process it all. And I came home and we were just like sitting in the kitchen with my mom and dad. And my mom and I were like coloring books because I was just like anxious and going through it. They were just like trying to figure out what was wrong because I had been like a little bit depressed about everything. And my dad just looked at me and he was like, are you gay? And I was like, what?
Abrupt.
Literally, like, what? And I was just looked at him and I was like, because I wasn't like fully done, like, or ready to like come out yet. And I think I just said like, I'm not ready to answer that yet. Or like, I'm not sure or something. And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
He said, just talk to your mom about it. And he went outside.
Well, I feel like that's actually, terrifying because I can imagine like a heart, your heart came out of your chest.
What?
I'm sorry. Also, too, I love that it was your dad that brought it up first. He was like, just rip off the Band-Aid. Just say it, right?
Yeah.
And then 3, I feel like it must feel... I would imagine myself in that era where my immediate reaction would have been like, no, like defensive, like, no, I'm not. How dare you ask me that question? And then throw up this like big, that's also I'm an Aries. I'm defensive. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense,
like, no, what do you mean? You're gay.
How dare you?
But I love that your response to that was like, I'm not ready to answer that question yet. And I think that right there holds power because you're not defending yourself and like having to put up this wall, but you're just like, I'm not ready to talk about it. Or I think that's really impressive.
And don't get me wrong, like there were times when like things would come up or my mom would question why I was so obsessed with a certain like female celebrity, and I would just be like, I don't know. I would definitely put a wall up and just be like, no, like what are you talking about?
Okay, yeah.
But this was like pretty far into my journey of like accepting it myself, so I knew I was not at a place where I could put that wall back up because it would just push me back. And I'd already done like all this work. So yeah, that's why I just was like, I'm not ready to answer that, but I'm definitely not going to deny anything.
Right.
And then come to find out, the reason it was on my dad's mind is because my brother had just come out a few days before.
No way.
Because I was like, that is so random for him to be like, are you gay? And so,
like, what?
Yes, I didn't find out until like a while later.
Wow.
But then I was like, oh, this makes sense. Like why my dad would ask me that.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. So he's like,
He's like, are you gay too? Like, what? Let me call your sister as well.
Wait, that's too funny. Okay, so do you have a relatability with your brother in that way, or is that
a little bit? I mean, we both had pretty different like experiences.
Okay.
But like there's always like a connection in some way. And I remember my mom talking about that a lot, being like, it was so interesting because you were both doing it at the same time. And like, we knew about your brother and then we knew about you like a little bit after, but you both didn't know you were going through this.
Got it.
Because like my brother didn't come out to me until a few months later.
Okay.
And she was like, it was just so interesting to hear you guys talk about it in such similar ways.
Right.
And she was like, and that's when I knew, like she was always supportive, but she was like, it's just like, this is just who you are. Like it's, if you guys don't even know or have not talked to each other about it and you're saying like the exact same things almost, she was like, it's just so, how can anyone deny that like this is who you are?
I love that they're coming from a parenting place of like observation too, because I think sometimes, you know, with a lot of kids or a lot of people that I've even talked to here, their parents just did not want to see it and refused to see it. In a lot of ways, that kind of created an internalized shame too, because they're just so unseen that it almost made them want to like hide themselves more, which I think is difficult.
I'm forever grateful because I know that it could have gone such a different way with my parents, but they've always done nothing but want to understand. And of course they're human. They've made mistakes and said some things, but they always are coming from a place of love and like wanting to understand and grow, and they've come such a long way. And I'm so thankful for their support.
It's funny that you say that too about your brother, because like you know how like whenever you dream about having like an older sister and you're like, I've always dreamed to have like a queer sibling.
Wait, really? Do you have any siblings?
I have 2 siblings.
Oh, okay.
So I'm always like, Mariah,
like, please do this for me. It's my
like,
dream.
Come on, like I'm not asking for much here. She's like, shut up. Like,
my sister's married to a man and has kids, and I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, are you sure?
Are you sure?
I don't believe it.
I love that married with 2 kids.
I love them.
I know, it's like
totally kidding.
That's what for my sister. I'm like, I know, I'm just kidding, but am I?
Yeah,
am I?
Like,
though?
it would be fun.
Yeah,
you can't
I'm
deny.
like, come on, we could like do little gay things together.
Right?
She's like, you're so annoying.
No, it is so fun going home and like having my brother and being like, the gay siblings are here.
Yeah.
And I have like a cousin and a couple other people in the family who are gay. So I'm like, whenever we're all together, it's so powerful.
That's so powerful. Wait, I love that. You're like, unite.
Yeah. I'm like, it's amazing.
It's like, I think I'm like, well, to my knowledge, I think I'm the only gay person. And well, I think I have uncles. Okay. I have like very uncles you never see.
Like distant,
do you know what I mean? Like very distant uncles. But I think I'm the only one, which I'm like also.
I mean, it's kind of cool. It's kind of a flex.
Like, I know. Like, it's also why I'm the black sheep and I don't live at home anymore.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that makes sense.
So with your social media, was there? I mean, I know you had mentioned that people on TikTok were starting to resonate. Is there another moment throughout your journey where you were really like, this is really helping a lot of people?
I think once I started growing it on Instagram, like growing a platform on Instagram, because TikTok is just so like, it's more laid back. It's like, there's a sense of community, but it's also just like anybody and everyone's going to see your video or where like, I feel like Instagram has more of a sense of community. So when I started getting like DMs from people who were like, I just came out because you helped me realize that I could be gay and look this way. Yeah. Or like DMs that people were just like, you helped me feel confident in who I am. Like that was when I was like, oh, wow. Like this is really powerful and really cool. And like, again, something I wish that I would have had. Anytime I get messages like that, it's just like, it takes me back because it's so easy to just like get in your head and be like, oh, gotta post another video or this content's not performing well or whatever. And I'm like, okay, if one person saw this video and felt seen, then whatever, my job's done. Like, I don't care.
I fully agree. And sometimes I also get wrapped up in that with social media. It's so like hard. You think about like, because in a lot of ways, people don't realize that social media is a full-time business. Yeah. And you are you are a business owner and you are creating content. But I do think that especially what I love about your story is you're coming at it from a community first standpoint, like a storytelling first standpoint. And I think that, you know, like always being like, if I can help one person, I think that that's also connecting you to your why, right? And also like keeps you going. Because I think sometimes social media can really, it takes a lot out of you sometimes.
Oh, it does,
especially being a public figure.
Yeah.
And I also know that you have a broadcast channel that also helps people too. Like you do a lot of quotes, like updates on your daily life and things like that. Do you find that is really a part of your core, is creating like a community?
Need to post in that more.
I was looking through it. I was like, this is really nice. I loved it.
I do feel like I send stuff in there every now and then.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like any way that I can build a community.
Yeah.
Or just like, I don't know, check in on people or like send them a positive quote or have that sense of like safe space.
Yeah.
Because I definitely feel like my content, like, while it started out just focusing on being a femme lesbian, I'm like trying to transition a little bit to where I also have the aspect of like mental health and just like realistic content, because you can get so wrapped up in social media and people just posting their highlight reels. And
True.
I just want people to know that like a normal life is also cool.
Yeah.
And also fun.
I love that, because I think sometimes with social media it's so easy to be like luxury here, crazy destination there, like everyone's living like this super high fast life. But I think sometimes the mundane and like the day-to-day routine, like I feel like I want to share more of that of myself, like things that I do every day, where I don't have to be fully dressed up to like share myself for a little bit, and if anything people relate to that more. That's
what I would think. And it's funny because like that's the type of content that I'll watch a girl sit there and like clean her apartment, no makeup, do whatever. Perfect. Like I'm like, this is amazing. I'll watch 10 hours.
What is your like random thing that you watch, like ASMR on TikTok?
I've never been into ASMR. I wish I could.
Really? Okay, because like mine is like watching people get like barbers. I don't know why.
Oh wait, that's good.
Like I will literally watch them give random men haircuts. I don't know why.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, this is great. I
feel like mine is like people cleaning. There's something so satisfying about that.
Do you have the ice lady who has like all the different like versions of ice? I need to send it to you.
She has like, please send it to me.
She has like and then she'll like stack the ice, and there's like
I guess that is kind of ASMR when they clean and it's just the sound.
It's just the sound.
Does that count as ASMR?
That definitely counts.
Okay, then I love ASMR.
Check. Done. Well, I know you had been through like anxiety and depression. What is your journey with mental health, and why is it so important for you to kind of stay in check with that as well?
I feel like I've been an anxious girly since the start.
Since I came out.
Since I came out the womb, I was like, something's not right.
Put me back.
Put me back in there. I just like have always dealt with anxiety, and I didn't know what it was because it wasn't so like talked about.
Right.
When we were younger, and now it's like everyone's talking about it, which is great. But it's always something that's affected me. So when I finally figured it out and felt like so validated and seen when I learned that I like had anxiety, it's just like really similar to like also feeling valid and seen with my coming out journey. And like if I can share information about anxiety as well so that other people feel seen. With depression, that's also been a long journey for me. And I think my worst, or when it got the worst, when I realized I really did have depression, was when I was coming out and like doing that whole journey. And that's when I left college and went home, because it was just like probably my darkest period, but it led me to something so beautiful. So I don't know. I just think it's so important to talk about these things and not just like, again, post like it's a highlight reel or like these things aren't real, because there's so many people who are going through it who feel alone. And it's just something that's really shaped who I am. So I feel like it wouldn't be realistic to talk about my life without talking about mental health.
No, absolutely. And I love that you are basically, you're destigmatizing it. And I think that that's really important, because, I think kind of what you just mentioned with Florida, Texas, Tennessee, where I'm from, there's a stigma on everything.
For sure.
Right? And even if you talk about mental health, they're like, they kind of shut it off. And on top of that with sexuality, and on top of that with gender expression, and on top of that there's gender roles, and then you have all the things that, the patriarchy, all of that. And even still, you don't know what the patriarchy is. It's just ingrained in everything you look at.
Yeah, it's so much.
And so I feel like being able to talk about it now is kind of like reclaiming that power too,
I think
right?
So, yeah.
And also I feel like for me, when I went through anxiety and depression, I've been through my waves of depression multiple times over the years, and like really, really bad, debilitating depression.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then in New York City, like 8 years ago, I started getting anxiety and then panic attacks and was hospitalized. It was like a whole thing.
It is,
and
it's scary.
It's super scary. And I feel like, I think part of the biggest trigger was being so scared that no one was going to believe me. And then I think that I realized that the more I talked about it, the less weight was being carried. And then the more people actually were like, no, I'd deal with this too. And I was like, oh, so I'm not making it up, and I'm not being dramatic. So we all go through this and we experience it. So I think that's really important that you share that.
No, definitely. I think that's like the most important thing, is like when you feel so alone in something. And I remember always just with my anxiety just being like, something's not right. And I would take like, literally, it's funny how much it like correlates with coming out and being gay, because I would take like, do I have anxiety quizzes, just like I was taking am I gay quizzes.
It's like BuzzFeed.
Like, this is really going hand in hand. Yeah, and just people being like, oh, everyone gets nervous. Like, you're just stressed, or like you're just nervous about something. And I'm like, no, it's like something different and something bigger. And I remember the first time someone like actually validated that. It was just huge. It was like so important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you do feel crazy.
And you don't have to go too into it, but just with the depression and anxiety surrounding your identity, where do you think that like kind of really stemmed from? Was it the hiding aspect, or feeling like you couldn't be who you really were, or was that just feeling that no one was going to believe you, or is it a little bit of everything? I think
it was like a little bit of everything. I think it was a little bit like environment as well. I left everything I knew, went to college, was like on my own. Then I realized that I was gay, and then I also realized I was super feminine, and like there's no way that anyone was going to believe me. So, you know, that was like a really big layer of it. And then just not knowing if like who's going to stick around and who's not going to accept you for it, just like it really like sends you spiraling. And I think it was just like a little bit of everything. The worry of just like, wow, my whole life is going to change in some way, and not knowing like what way it was going to be. Really like sent me into a pretty deep depression.
It feels like all of those things too are in a way like isolating, right?
Oh, for sure.
And in a way, I mean, for me, my biggest problem is whenever I start to go through my spirals. I call them my spirals. They feel a little bit less scary that
I like
way.
that.
My little spirals. I realize it's always in a place of self-isolation. Whenever I've like kind of removed myself from my friends, when I've removed myself from the things that I love to do, whether it's like going to the gym or being my quality time and being like hugging people or whatever it might be. So I feel like when I'm separating myself from that, I can tell, I have a spiral coming on because I'm like starting to self-isolate. Do you have kind of like early indicators of when you feel like you might be going into a, well, I guess, quote unquote spiral?
I love that. I'm going to use that. I always just say like, I'm having a depressive episode, but like, that's not fun. Let's
spiral feels kind of cute.
I'm having a little spiral. Everyone beware. I'm having a little spiral. I love that. I'm going to start using it.
You can message me and be like, spiraling
hey,
today.
girl, are you spiraling? I'm spiraling. What are my indicators? Like you said, like you start to isolate a little bit more. I know when I start to like, I'm naturally an overthinker, but when I start to do it in a way that's like, oh, everybody hates me, nobody wants to talk to me, I'm just gonna stay home and isolate myself. Usually that's a sign like, no, actually go be with people. Like they don't hate you, like go, you need to get out. But that's the hard part about spiraling is it just convinces you like, and you want to isolate. So it's like fighting so hard against it to not do that.
I fully agree with you. I think sometimes it's like I kind of become my own biggest enemy in a way.
And that's like what I feel like what depression is.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's just kind of like that very first step of being like, I don't want to do it. But then I'm like, I do it. And then I'm like, actually that kind of felt good.
Like, okay, that was nice. That's like, I love running. And that's like my one thing where like if I'm in a mood where I like it's been a while since I ran, then that's kind of an indicator. Or like I really am just like talking myself out of doing it. Then I know I need to, because once I do it, I feel so much better. Well,
I feel like, physical health is not just physical, it's mental as well. Like, if not even more so. I feel like sometimes, and it really annoys me, right? Because if I'm going to be honest with you, I started going to the gym more this year. And it works. And I'm like, fuck, that means I have to keep doing it.
No, it's so annoying.
It's so annoying. Because, like, what do you mean I have to go and do cardio every day now or I'm going to spiral?
Or I'm not going to be happy? What are you talking about? What do you mean?
What were the days that I didn't know what running was? I didn't know what the dopamine from running, and then now I'm aware of it, and I'm like,
you can't escape. It's so true. I know. I'm so happy that I like love running.
That's good.
Because it would be harder because I would have to still force myself to do it if I didn't love it. But luckily I love it, and it like helps me mentally so much. Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, even for me,
you should try running. Do you run?
Power walk. I do a fast walk.
That's
brisk.
Great.
It's a brisk walk.
You could speed walk.
I pretend that I'm like the Olympic speed walker.
Wait, literally, it's an Olympic sport. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm that.
I forgot it was an Olympic sport.
No, but I'm usually so if I go to the gym, I'll do treadmill.
Okay.
I used to do the treadmill where I would do it until I got to 100 calories and I'd be like, emergency stop. Like I would just
done, get me off of it.
Get me off of it. I'd go like 98, 99, 100 calories.
Like, that's it. I'm dead. That's how you were counting.
It's not the miles. It's not like the minutes. It's the calories. And it's literally 100 calories, which is like
okay.
Maybe half an egg.
Back.
But eventually, after I kept doing it more and more, now I'm like, ooh, I have a mile under my belt. Ooh,
Okay,
you know,
a
like
mile.
I'm doing a little escalation now. So it just takes time. I think for me,
absolutely.
I was going into it being like, I'm going to do 100 calories, and that's a start, okay?
Yeah.
And then eventually, I was
It's
like,
something, whatever gets you to just do it.
to just do it, because I was like, I don't want to do it.
No,
I don't
that's it's all about talking yourself into it.
Yeah, but I definitely think that I feel like it was more of a mental health exercise for me than a physical, which I think is really important too.
I think that's all. Anything I do physical is like usually always just for my mental health.
Yeah.
And then like, sure, it's a perk that you feel good and you feel healthy.
And you look good.
Like,
you're like, oh,
you look good.
okay, look at that.
Yeah.
Extra bonus, cherry on top.
No, literally. I'm trying to do yoga. I just like officially signed up for the studio by me.
Okay.
And oh my gosh, it's so good.
Is it?
Because
okay.
for your mental health, I feel like, because I'm just like on my phone 24/7. It's hard when you work on your phone and then also you just like love to scroll TikTok. So it's like a full hour where I can just be like present.
Okay, that's
and like
good.
even if I'm really doing the moves so wrong, because I know that I'm terrible at yoga. I'm like, it's fine because I had an hour to just like sit and breathe.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even touch my toes, so I feel like if I did that, I would be like
so unflexible. It's insane. I'm like cracking and like the girls behind me are like in a full handstand. I'm like, no.
You're like, can someone help me? I'm stuck.
Like, I'm literally stuck.
I think you know what I realized too about physical health and yoga and therapy whenever it comes to not even just talking to a therapist, but like journaling or anything about that. I feel like I put it off for so long because I was scared of realizing where my head was at.
Yeah.
And I think like if I were to write it down and then I read what I wrote down, I'd be like, oh, that's
then
dark.
You have to face it.
And
that's
then
the hard part.
if I go to yoga and I have no phone to distract myself, then I'm like, oh, these thoughts, they're there and they're scary. And I think for me, I put off navigating mental health for so long because I was scared to know what I was thinking. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. It's so scary.
I was like, let me live in this toxic positivity.
Yes, exactly.
And then I spiraled. And so it's like, it doesn't help. You know,
No.
I think that it's good to kind of just like interlay it a little bit throughout your life.
And it's like, it's your mind and you have to live with yourself forever. So you might as well just accept what's going on in there.
That's
even
true.
if it's dark and freaky, like get it out, write it down, accept that it's just like who you are. And the fact that you're like actively trying to work on it is like so amazing.
It's so true. We should just bring Tumblr back.
Oh
I think that made the world a better place. Oh, no. It didn't.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Let's try. We should try.
But you know what? I think that it doesn't work for the time because I feel like then it was kind of cool to be dark and sad.
Right.
Now it's like people want you to be on social media. They want
positivity.
Yeah. Now social media wants you to show the highlight reel.
You know what? You're right. I take it back because it was like a way of like getting out your feelings when you like. Even though it was dark and sad, I was like, no, we don't need that. But it kind of was like journaling. My journal is dark and sad.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I would just repost things that were in my mind. You know what I mean? But
okay, I support this.
Actually, now I think about it, they're almost polar opposites of each other because I feel like Instagram is one where you go to show the best side of your life, right?
Absolutely.
You only show the best things that happen to you, right? It's like one giant accolade.
Yeah.
But with Tumblr, it was like, what are the worst things I'm going through?
The deepest, darkest places in my mind are just on this like page.
And we're all following each other like, I relate to this.
Yeah, girl. I totally
Honestly, we need a happy medium. I don't know what that would be, but you do a lot of running, a lot of cardio. You also are doing yoga. What are some other practices that you keep in mind for self-care?
I'm trying to be better about journaling. I do. I pick it up every now and then. I know there's people like, do you journal like every day?
So I bought a journal recently, and I'm so proud of myself. I went to the store and I picked it, and it's like gold and shiny, and it kind of looks like The Alchemist. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It kind of is like giving that energy,
cool.
which I was like, this is positive. I've written 2 pages. I'm very proud of myself.
That's a step.
I wrote 2 pages, and I'm gonna turn it into like a little scrapbook, I think. So it's like cute. So
that's so fun.
So
this is a really dark and twisted journal entry, and I'm gonna make it a scrapbook. Not that yours are dark and twisted, but I'm like, mine.
No, but actually, that's why I did 2 pages, and I'm like, ooh,
let's take a breather. Let's process that.
Let's never pick up this book again.
No,
but I take the stickers that say positivity, love.
Stop. Make a little scrapbook. Put a picture of you. Okay, that's amazing.
Or when I go on trips now, I'll go to like a kiosk where you can print out pictures of the trip. So like maybe a picture of the Eiffel Tower, and I'll cut out the Eiffel Tower and I'll put it in my journal, and I'll talk about
Okay, so it's gonna be like a little journal of your life.
It's gonna be a journal of my life. Wait, what is your journal?
I don't know. I feel like it's like my brain dump. Like
okay.
It's not like what I did that day. It's like, here's all the feelings I'm feeling.
That's what I'm going to do, a mix.
Okay. I like this idea, though. Just like a really peaceful journal.
Perfect.
Like your life. Today, I went to the grocery store. Here's a picture of me at the grocery store.
Here's a selfie of my Trader Joe's list.
Wait, okay, sign me up. I'm doing it.
Well, this is why I've only picked it up twice, because the first 2 pages were super duper.
And you're going to
the first 2 pages, we're going to edit that out. The first 2 pages were super dark. And I was like, I need to like balance it with a picture of like something happy.
Okay, I love this. I support it.
You see?
Yeah,
okay.
That's fun.
All right.
Maybe if I think about journaling that way, I'll get better about doing it.
Because I think my thing is, if I get too dark and sad, then I'm like, I get tired of myself, where I'm like, okay, snap out of it.
Okay.
But I
like this mindset.
So we'll try.
This is like not really self-care, but I've been doing Duolingo to learn Spanish.
Okay.
And I take my like little 15 minutes in the morning and I sit down and I do it.
Yeah.
And like, I guess that's self-care.
How many days in are you?
Like 200.
Okay,
yeah, I know nothing, so don't ask. but like I feel like I'm learning a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's even as you said, it's taking 15 minutes to not think about anything else other than learning something new, which I think is really nice.
Yeah.
I got to 100 days and then I skipped it, and then it died, and now my clock is on the. You are now 400 days behind. And I'm
that's so sad. Just delete the app. What
maybe
are you doing?
This is bad for my mental. I should get rid of that.
It's like torment. It's like, hey, idiot.
No, because the bird looks like he's dying all the time. Like he's crying or
well, yeah, it does that at the end of the day if I haven't done it yet. I'm like, I'm going to save his life.
If someone was listening in and maybe they're going through their own struggles right now with mental health, what would be some advice that you would give to them?
I always just come back to like, you're not alone. And also like talk to people. Mm-hmm. Like even if you think maybe they won't understand, just not caring at all yourself. If it's something you've never like expressed to anybody, I would say start there. There's going to be somebody you're going to find who you talk to eventually who will have experienced it or will have tools or resources to like help you. Therapy is amazing. If that's a resource that's available to you, like it honestly changed my life. I highly recommend therapy for literally anybody, even if they don't have mental health issues. Don't overthink self-care. Like it can be as simple as like doing Duolingo. Like literally it's so simple. Like just take time for yourself. That's not sabotaging you. That's more of just something that makes you feel at ease.
Yeah. I especially love that you just said it doesn't have to be this big grand thing, because I think even on social media now we're seeing like these 9-part skincare routines and it's not feasible all the time.
Yeah.
If it does work, it works. If it doesn't, then it's also okay to just have one piece of skincare that you do.
Absolutely.
Or maybe taking 15, you don't have to take 3 hours a day to do a yoga meditation thing.
No, absolutely
But going to one class in the morning or at night, or even just rolling out a mat and doing meditation in your living room for 20 minutes.
Pull up like a YouTube video like of a yoga. Like it's, it doesn't have to be so complicated.
I agree.
Self-care can literally look like anything as long as it's making you feel at ease and like peaceful, then that's self-care in my opinion.
I think that's a really good way to think about it, because you know I feel like sometimes when I feel like something is so much of a chore, I put it off, and then next thing you know it's been 5 months. Do you know what I mean? Like
absolutely,
that's how I feel about text messages. If someone texts me, I'm like, it's a chore now and I have to respond.
Texting.
And then next thing you know, I haven't responded in 5 months. And I'm like, ooh, I can't text you now.
Hey, I can't believe I'm just seeing this like 6 months later. And it's hard too when you're like on social media as your job. But I'm like, you guys, it's like my job. I'm posting.
Yeah.
And I'm not responding to your text, but like, it's okay.
Exactly. That is my, you know what? That's my 15-minute break, is just to not respond to text.
No, literally, like, I'll get around to it, I promise. But now I have people in my life who, like, they know.
They get it. Yeah. That's good. That's
I'm like, I can't have anybody in my life who wants an immediate text back because it's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
I'm so sorry.
It's a boundary, though.
Yeah,
it's good.
It is. And that's self-care.
Yeah, it is self-care.
Just doing whatever, like, makes you feel at peace.
I would love to ask you about spirituality.
Like, strongly believe that everything's going to happen the way it's supposed to, and that there's a plan. I don't know who's making that plan. Right. I always just say it's the universe.
Yeah.
And I guess, like, that makes me spiritual.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I think, it's the same for me. Like, even if I read I love a self-help book. That's another thing for mental health.
Yeah.
I love a self-help book.
So good.
I feel like I'm leveling up my avatar every time I read a book. I'm like, literally. Okay, my Sims character just learned 2 points of knowledge.
Yes, and then, like, a self-help book, but on audio while you're on a self-help walk. Or self-care walk.
Ooh.
Next level.
Game changer.
Yeah.
It's
then
2 for 1.
2 things at once. Yeah.
And then you can listen to Duolingo and you can do it in Spanish.
Oh my God.
Wow, no, that might stress you out. We just said don't pile it on.
No, please. It's too much.
I think with spirituality, I think with my self-help books, sometimes if the words that they use to describe a higher power or spirituality or a connection to a higher power, if I don't relate to the word, I just try to change the word in my mind, like word association, because sometimes for me personally, the word God can feel a little triggering, because to me, sometimes the word God can be a male figure or personified as this big grand man. And I'm like, I've decentered men from everything.
Yeah, look at my life.
In the universe, the universe is a woman to me. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, I fully agree.
It's like a feminine energy.
Yeah. I am obsessed with We Can Do Hard Things and like Glennon Doyle.
Oh, okay.
And she's spiritual and she believes in God, but she only refers to God as a woman. And I'm obsessed with that.
That's what I need.
Yeah.
I feel like, I think for me, the higher power is going to be something that's nurturing, kind, loving. Yeah. And so to me, that the word association to like the universe is usually what I use. It's coming from like a loving place. And so that's why I think for me, spirituality is something that I can really relate to.
Yeah.
I also feel like sometimes spirituality, it always comes from a sense of like positive, optimistic, love, compassion, kindness, empathy. When I think sometimes with specifically organized religion, for me, this is just me, I don't want anyone to get upset, but like for me, organized religion can come from like really fear-based.
Absolutely.
So I think that's why I resonate with spirituality even more. And who knows what is.
No, I agree. And like I said, like I grew up going to church, and a lot of people in my family are very religious and Christians, but yeah, it was just like always just like the rule, like it was so like strict, and there was like rules, and you can't be this and you can't be that, and you're going to hell if you're doing this. And I'm just like, I never resonated with it, and I'm all for like whatever makes you a better person. And if believing in God or being religious makes you a better, kinder person, I love it. I always say like, my mom is a Christian, but she's like my favorite type of Christian, because she literally only uses it to just be a better person and like help other people. And like, she just like is loving and accepting of everybody.
Yep.
And I think it is hard, like, especially with sexuality, like there's just, I don't know, just everything with religion can be so tricky, but that's why I say like, I guess I'm spiritual, because I don't not believe in anything, but I just want it all to be like something that makes you a better person.
I agree fully. And, you know, I think that's the irony behind religion, because I think every religion that I've ever studied, and I've studied many of them, I find it so fascinating, but every religion I've ever studied is supposed to come from a place of love. Yeah. Every single one of them. There's not a single religion that I've studied where they're like teaching you to hate each other, and like teaching you to ostracize people or to oppress people, or you know, there's not a book that I'm aware of where the overall umbrella teaching terms are to teach you to be a worse person. Right. So I find it the irony between the overall teachings of any religion. It could be any religion, but I feel like when people translate it, they sometimes pull their own egos and their own like projections into it. And I'm like, that's the disconnect. That's the disconnect.
Yeah. They just, it's so human. They take it and they try and make it what works for them. And
exactly.
And at the end of the day, like, that's just not what it is.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's say fast forward 60 years, right? And you're looking back on this time right now. What's the impact that you hope that your storytelling leaves behind?
The only impact I ever want to have is that I just was always kind. Kindness is so important to me. And that, like, I helped people feel seen and feel valid. Kind of like everything I'm doing with social media, just, I don't know. I just want to help people.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that too, because you're, again, creating this platform out of like such a good place. Yeah. And I think that that's also why I resonate with your content so much. And I have for years. Like literally every time you post something, I'm like, I wish I could double tap it more. Because I think that even if you're not fully femme presenting, it's like, so for me, I always try to find like a balance between femininity and masculinity, but like there's so many things that I still connect with your content on. It's not only for femme women, right?
No, and I do get that all the time. Like, I will get like more mask presenting lesbians be like, oh, I actually relate to this. And I'm like, okay, perfect. Yeah. Come on in.
Come on in.
This
you're
is
welcome
space for everybody.
You're here. But I think that, I resonate with it because it's not I guess it's just not like one layer, right? There's so much nuance to every single person. And even the term femininity, it doesn't just mean one thing.
Right,
You know what
absolutely.
I mean? Like, even for me, I think that I find pieces of me or certain days of the week that I feel more feminine than others. Am I putting on a dress and heels? Probably not.
Right. It's not just about how you're presenting.
Right.
It's a feeling as well.
Oh, yeah. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
I mean, literally yesterday I was going through my closet and I found nail polish and I was like, should I?
You're like, that could be fun.
That could be fun. I was like, pink, no. Blue, no. White, maybe. Black, for sure.
For sure, black. See, that's where you feel comfortable. That's good.
But I think it's, I think that it's okay to have that fluidity as well. So it's like,
I think it's just letting people show up exactly as they are.
Yeah.
I think like it can be helpful when we have these labels of like masc and femme and whatever, but it's like everyone in this world is so unique.
Yeah.
And you can't expect them all to be one certain way or fit into one certain box. And I just want everyone to show up exactly as they are.
I think, when I think about queer women, it's exactly what you said before. Like there's so much diversity.
Yeah.
And then also it's like the gender roles, we don't apply to them, right? Like necessarily. Right. Do you feel like as a queer femme woman, do you have this pressure to fit into certain gender roles?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's something like we were talking about with like compet and like internalized homophobia and like all of these things in life and like society telling you that you're supposed to be a certain way. And especially when you're more feminine presenting, like we look at like a stereotypical straight relationship and it's like, well, the femme person should definitely be doing these roles. And,
right.
It's easy to fall into that when that's all you've been taught and all you know.
Well, at the end of every episode, we do like a little wrap up funny section just because for me, I'm like, we talk about deeper things. So I'm like, we have to talk about something really random.
Okay.
And it's funny because we already talked about one of these things.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, who is your celebrity crush that you would like, you're going full chest on that? Like you're 100%, that is my celebrity crush. And I know you already said Stick It, so I'm like,
oh my God.
You can't use that one because
I know
that was also my celebrity crush.
Well, yeah, of course.
Actually, you can use it.
Okay.
The bathroom tease, for sure.
I would say after Stick It, my obsession was when I watched The L Word. Bet.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, what was it about Bet?
Wait, which one? Bet
is like not the blonde, the brunette, the one that's,
why am I blinking? My brain goes blank.
No, Bet is the one that's like the powerhouse art director.
Yes. Okay, Bet. Sorry, you were like shocked by Bet, so then it threw me off. That like, I'm like, isn't that the one we all loved? She's so hot and powerful, and like she creates art, and like I don't know. She was definitely like my celebrity crush. I would say now like my main celebrity. I have a lot of like celebrity crushes, but I'm a Swiftie through and through, so I would probably say Taylor Swift.
Fair enough. Also, Bet was like the powerhouse of that whole show for sure.
Oh my God.
But although sometimes I'd get really annoyed. I'd be like, can you just chill? But I was always a Carmen fan. I was always Carmen.
That makes sense.
Loved Carmen. I was like,
she was great.
Yeah. Well, also Shane. I always felt like very relatable to Shane because like they were just in their spiral era all the time, and I was like, period. That's
all
me.
the time. No, so
like,
true.
That's me. But it's so funny that a lot of people.
Who's your celebrity crush?
Dua Lipa, for sure.
Okay.
Dua Lipa, all the way.
I'm shocked I don't have one that like stands out. I'm like, maybe I don't have like a celebrity crush.
You're gonna be driving home and be like,
and I'm gonna think of it.
I
know.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus, maybe.
Miley Cyrus, honestly, she's in a comeback era. Well, she's always been in a comeback era, to be fair. I feel like all of her eras have led her to this.
Exactly.
No.
Love her. I'll always love her. I was such a Hannah Montana girly. Like,
same.
Oh my God.
Same. Also, I feel like that was also all about identity in a way.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Switching between identities. And I feel like a lot of queer people related to that because there's a lot of ways where you have to live double lives.
Yeah. Wow, I've never thought about it that way.
Oh, there it is.
I mean, that's why I loved it so much. I really resonated.
I could have just made that up completely, but I feel like it seems accurate, right?
Because
I also love it.
I love the way that you put the spin on that. I agree. Yeah. One of my like gay awakenings that I feel like nobody ever says is the mom from Spy Kids.
Oh.
I always forget her real name as the actress.
Okay. Mine was Miss Honey from Matilda.
I have never seen Matilda. I know. I got yelled at the other day for that.
We should watch Matilda.
Okay. I'm ready.
Now you're like taking a breath and being
I'm
like
being stressed about it.
You're like spiraled. I'm spiraling.
Okay, you're sending me into spiral. No, I'm just kidding. No, I need to watch it. That's crazy that I've never watched it because every like queer person I talked to was like, Miss Honey was my gay awakening, and I'm like,
Never.
I don't know why. Where
you
was
have to
I?
do it. Market research.
So many gay awakenings.
So many.
Could talk about
we
this
could be sitting here for an hour and a half just like talking about gay awakenings. We could have just named it that, gay awakening.
Yeah.
If you could build the ultimate lesbian starter pack with 3 things, what would you put in it? Ooh. On the spot.
Okay. I feel like there's the stereotypical ones.
Carabiner,
of course. A U-Haul. Or maybe ones that I did when I was like not aware that I was gay. I got an undercut. I feel like that's a starter pack for sure.
I have a side cut.
Does that count? Like that counts.
Does that count?
Yeah, right? Okay, yeah.
Is that an undercut or no?
Undercut is like when it's like all under here.
Okay, yes.
But that's like a version of it, I feel like. So that's really gay of you.
I need everyone to know, okay? That's why I got tattoos and a shaved head.
Tattoos,
like,
of course.
What am I going to do?
Tattoos, holding your iced coffee.
Oh, yeah, because you hold your iced coffee like this, right?
Yeah, that's like a signal in my mind.
Okay.
If I see a girl holding her iced coffee by the lid, I'm like...
Actually, I love how this spun. So we're going to see what are the ways that you can tell if someone's queer or not.
Okay, yeah, sorry. These were like not starter packs, but I'm like just trying to think.
The shaved head, this.
Short nails for sure,
we've talked about femininity
We've passed that, yeah.
Yeah, I just take that back. Because then that kind of contradicts everything that this episode is
But
about.
if they have all the other signals and then they also have short nails, like you could be like, okay, yeah.
True.
Okay, what are some other ones?
Occupation. I feel like occupation sometimes.
You think?
Sometimes.
Like what? Name a gay job.
This is also me just completely contradicting everything that we just talked about. I feel like a gay job.
Well, no, literally my whole platform was like, don't listen to stereotypes about lesbians. But then I'll be like, oh, she's got short nails, she's gay. Well, it's hard. You have to sometimes use them.
Well, I just think that I feel like it's also fun, and it's not in a place of like judging. It's in a place of like I need to know if you're gay or not.
Yeah,
like, I'm so curious. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
When I see a lesbian in the wild, I'm like,
it's a thrill. It's so exciting.
A lesbian in the wild. Do you have a code name for a lesbian?
No, do you?
I call them falcons.
What is there a reason for falcons?
I don't know.
I kind of love that.
So when I used to bartend, there was 2 queer girls who I think they were a couple. They were sitting at the bar and they were like, "Oh, falcon, 3:00, 2:00," and I was like, "What is a falcon?" They're like, "Lesbian," and I was like,
"Wait, that's amazing."
Done. And so now I call them falcons, or like a baby falcon. I'm like, "Look, there's a baby falcon." They don't even know it yet.
They don't know, but they will be a falcon.
It's my way of like I always play like a lesbian safari where I'm like, "Where are the lesbians?" Like with my binoculars.
Oh my God, I love that. Honestly, I don't know. I need more ways to know if people are gay because I feel like you wouldn't know.
I think we need a universal stamp or something. You know what I mean?
This is like the most common question I get asked. Is like, I'm femme, but like, how do I show people I'm gay? I'm like, I don't know. Let me know if you figure it out because I'll be walking around like everyone here thinks I'm straight.
Do you still have to like? Do you have like a little symbol or something like when you go out some places? Do you like have like a rainbow bracelet or?
I have some jewelry that's like gay.
Okay.
But it's like, how is anybody going to see that?
Yeah, you're like...
Or it's like really subtle. So I'm like, I don't know, do I need a stamp on my forehead or something?
Right.
A rainbow. Just gonna...
This is your camera. Okay. If you can let people know where to follow you on social media and how to connect with you online.
Yeah. I'm on TikTok and Instagram. My handle is just my name. It's at Kelly Hrebenar. I could spell the last name for you, but
we'll put a subtitle.
I figured it would be like you'll find it somewhere where you can click. I'm sure.
I'll put a little. It's
Nobody
in the bio.
can ever spell my last name, so.
I was gonna ask you how you because it's Hrebenar.
Hrebenar, yeah.
Hrebenar. Okay.
Oh, that was good.
Nailed it.
The H is silent, so there's an H, so it throws everybody off.
Hrebenar.
Or they think the H in my handle is like my middle name, but it's not.
I see. It's not. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. I like it. It's a good last name. It's very unique.
It is unique.
What is the?
Don't ask me that. I'm just kidding. I just really always forget. I always forget. I ask my parents all the time, and they tell me, and then I forget.
What, that you don't like where your background is?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know?
Like Hrebenar's obviously something.
It's got to be something.
It is.
It's got to be something. Of course.
It's got to be something.
I think
it's like Polish or something.
It's giving. Right?
Okay.
Maybe. I could have just made that up. If you say it with confidence, like you said before.
Yeah.
It's Polish.
Just lie. It's Polish.
I would believe you.
I should have just lied.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming to hang out.
This was so fun. So fun.
Oh my God. I feel like we finally got a chance to hang out. And I'm like,
I'm so
Quality
glad.
talk for an hour. And that's a wrap on this episode of She Comes With Baggage. If you loved this conversation, please make sure to follow She Comes With Baggage on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for more content and behind-the-scenes moments. And if you're tuning in on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any other audio platform, please don't forget to leave a review. I love hearing from you, and your support helps to keep these conversations going. And just remember, if you are carrying any baggage, you're not alone, and we're all more alike than we might realize. See you soon.